The Pegan diet is a style of eating inspired by two of the most popular diet trends, paleo and vegan. The Pegan diet promotes optimal health by reducing inflammation and balancing blood sugar. However, some components of this diet remain controversial. What is the Pegan diet? The Pegan diet combines key principles from paleo and vegan diets based on the notion that nutrient-dense, whole foods can reduce inflammation, balance blood sugar, and support optimal health. If your first thought is that going paleo and vegan simultaneously sounds nearly impossible, you're not alone. Despite its name, the Pegan diet is unique and has its own set of guidelines. In fact, it's less restrictive than either a paleo or vegan diet by itself. Major emphasis is placed on vegetables and fruit, but intake of small to moderate amounts of meat, certain fish, nuts, seeds, and some legumes is also allowed. Heavily processed sugars, oils, and grains are discouraged, but still acceptable in very small amounts. The Pegan diet is not designed as a typical, short-term diet. Instead, it aims to be more sustainable so that you can follow it indefinitely. There are quite a few potential benefits while on the Pegan diet. The Pegan diet may contribute to your health in a number of ways. The strong emphasis on fruit and vegetable intake is perhaps its best trait. Fruits and vegetables are some of the most nutritionally diverse foods. They're full of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds known to prevent disease and reduce both oxidative stress and inflammation. The Pegan diet also emphasizes healthy, unsaturated fats from fish, nuts, seeds, and other plants that may have a positive impact on heart health. Furthermore, diets that rely on whole foods and contain few ultra-processed foods are associated with an improvement in overall diet quality. However, the Pegan diet unnecessarily restricts several healthy food groups. It may also be expensive and time-consuming. Furthermore, arbitrary elimination of large groups of foods can lead to nutrient deficiencies if those nutrients aren't carefully replaced. Thus, you may need a basic understanding of nutrition to implement the Pegan diet safely. Foods to eat while on the Pegan diet. The Pegan diet focuses strongly on whole foods, or foods that have undergone little to no processing before they make it to your plate. The primary food group for the Pegan diet is vegetables and fruit. These should comprise 75% of your total intake. Low glycemic fruits and vegetables, such as berries and non-starchy vegetables, should be emphasized in order to minimize your blood sugar response. Small amounts of starchy vegetables and sugary fruits may be allowed for those who have already achieved healthy blood sugar control prior to starting the diet. Although the Pegan diet primarily emphasizes plant foods, adequate protein intake from animal sources is still encouraged. Bear in mind that because 75% of the diet is made up of vegetables and fruit, less than 25% remains for animal-based proteins. As such, you'll have a much lower meat intake than you would on a typical paleo diet, but still more than on any vegan diet. The Pegan diet discourages eating conventionally farmed meats or eggs. Instead, it places emphasis on grass-fed, pasture-raised sources of beef, pork, poultry, and whole eggs. It also encourages intake of fish, specifically those that tend to have low mercury content like sardines and wild salmon. Stick to minimally processed fats. Although most grains and legumes are discouraged on the Pegan diet due to their potential to influence blood sugar, some gluten-free whole grains and legumes are permitted in limited quantities. The Pegan diet is made up of 75% fruits and vegetables. The remaining 25% is divided primarily among meats, eggs, and healthy fats, such as nuts and seeds. Some legumes and gluten-free whole grains may be allowed in limited quantities. Foods to avoid while on the Pegan diet. The Pegan diet is more flexible than a paleo or vegan diet because it allows occasional intake of almost any food. That said, several foods and food groups are strongly discouraged. Some of these foods are known to be unhealthy, while others may be considered very healthy, depending on whom you ask. These foods are typically avoided on the Pegan diet. Dairy, cow's milk, yogurt, and cheese are strongly discouraged. However, foods made from sheep or goat milk are permitted in limited quantities. Sometimes grass-fed butter is allowed, too. Gluten. All gluten-containing grains are strongly discouraged. Gluten-free grains, even grains that don't contain gluten, are discouraged. Small amounts of gluten-free whole grains may be permitted occasionally. Legumes. Most legumes are discouraged due to their potential to increase blood sugar. Low-starch legumes, such as lentils, may be permitted. Sugar, any form of added sugar, refined or not, is usually avoided. It may be used occasionally, but very sparingly. Refined oils, refined or highly processed oils, such as canola, soybean, sunflower, and corn oil, are almost always avoided. Food additives, artificial colorings, flavorings, preservatives, and other additives are avoided. Most of these foods are forbidden due to their perceived impact on blood sugar and/or inflammation in your body. In summary, the Pegan diet is based on paleo and vegan principles, though it encourages some meat consumption. It emphasizes whole foods, especially vegetables, while largely prohibiting gluten, dairy, most grains, and legumes. It's rich in many nutrients that can promote optimal health but may be too restrictive for many people. You can give this diet a try to see how your body responds. If you're already paleo or vegan and are interested in modifying your diet, the Pegan diet may be easier to adjust to. If you are interested in more information on diets, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And have a healthy day.